I usually get out my brushes, my standard ones that I use. 2 blush brushes. This is just really hyperpigmented, so I usually brush this out, like buff it out, so it doesn't appear so big. This is for your foundation after you're powdered. Here's for your liquid. 2 of my blush brushes, and your granddaughter is going to come in here. A second here. I usually kind of just brush out any type of eyeshadow that's been on there for some time. I usually clean them out eventually. This is my, I use it for my brows. Here's that smudge brush that I was talking about. I use this for eyeliner. I'm not really going to go anything all crazy today. This is just going to be probably make my standard look. God, did you brush hairbrush in, so I'm going to need it. I do have 2 different angular brushes. This one's a little bit more fluffy and bigger, and this is more accurate and smaller. But I don't know if I'm really going to be using it. It just depends on what colors I end up using. So my Naked Urban Decay palette is my favorite.
It looks like you're doing a makeup video.
And then here's my L'Oreal like brown palette that I'm using today. Then I have my powder for my face later. I actually have 2 different Neutrogena makeup colors. One is called Nude and one is called Buff. So I usually mix the 2. One's darker than the other, so I kind of put the darker ones here, the lighter ones underneath your eyes, and that. I don't start with liquid makeup at all first. I usually start with my eyes because then you can clean up with a makeup wipe a lot easier than if you messed up with the eyeshadow and got some of the fallout on underneath your eyes. You're just going to smear it. Also, I have this Revlon Youth Fix Fill and Blur Concealer that I like using. It has a little sponge tip on it, so I usually put it in the parts that are really, you know, dark eye parts.
I usually use that.
So first things first, I start with a primer. This is Lift and Firm Hard Candy. You can get this at Walmart. I just put, no, you don't need to put makeup on. I just put just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't seem like a little bit, but you're putting it all over your face and your neck. This is just going to help smooth out any dryness. And of course, lift and firm. I put this on my eyelids as well. I'm glad that you're laughing. Let me wipe it off my hands. I hate anything on my hands. Okay.
Now you know how I feel when I massage your feet with lotion.
I'll deal with it. And then just make sure, like for me, I get dryness and right on my nose for whatever reason, so I kind of like concentrate those areas. Okay. So then the next step that I usually do is my eyebrows. Now, whenever you get eyebrow stuff, some people you go the old-fashioned route of pencils. I have had pencils. Stop playing with things, they ain't yours. Stop. But this is my eyebrow brush, and it literally is just to fill in the parts and create my arch. I usually don't use a pen. It just doesn't seem to look as natural. So just put a little bit, and I'm gonna move closer because I have a little mirror here so you can see a little better. And just, I start in the middle and then work my way out. Let me take my glasses off, otherwise this might get a weird arch. Now, the reason why I usually start with my brows is because my brows first just seem to be one of the more simplistic things, and I'm still waiting for the primer to dry. So that's allowing the time needed for it to dry. And this, you just want to make sure that you just kind of bring a little bit of highlight to your brows. That way that your eyes don't get missed. Kind of just makes complements your eyes better. Now I have eyebrows. And I just kind of just use my finger and smear them out a little bit. So that's from my Urban Decay Smoky palette. It is a matte color, and it kind of matches my eyebrows really well.
Try to find a color that matches your eyebrows.
Yeah. So also, I'm gonna get my big fluffy brush out. This is for when you're starting to use the blending techniques. As you can see, I didn't use anything else currently, but this is just to kind of, this is gonna be your start brush for eyeshadow. Right now I'm gonna go and whip out my concealer. Sometimes I use the liquid makeup and just put it on my eyelid. This is gonna help keep your makeup in place. I do have a beauty blender, but somehow it got misplaced, so I'm gonna use a sponge. I don't know what happened. It happened in the move. And these cheapo little sponges, if you don't have it, I suggest getting one. The little squares.
There we go.
You just want to kind of blot this in there. Let's see. Turn this light on over on this thing. See, I look like I just woke up. Because I did. I just got done finishing with my dad working. Alright, so now there's some concealer on there. Conceals some of the redness and puffiness. And now I'm going to start with this brush. It's a big fluffy brush. It's not as precise as this brush, but this, so I'm using this to shade, and this, I always start with the shading first, and then this is going to be more precise, darker shades. I always start with my Naked palette. I'm just doing a neutral look today, so I put the lowest color, and this is just going to be on the brow bone. I like how you're laughing at me, Zoe.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm
Sounds
laughing at how small the shower is.
Zoe, you're about to get kicked out. That's how that's gonna go. So just, this is such a light shade. There's not really any real method to the madness. You just kind of apply it, make sure that it's on there, make sure it looks good underneath your brow line. That's why I like using the big fluffier one. Also, a couple technique things. The closer you get to this end of the brush, the more concentrated you're gonna get on your eyelid. The further away on the back of the brush, which you really want, is gonna go and blend those techniques out. Here, Bobby. So then you got a light cream matte. Why?
What are you doing?
I'm videoing what I'm doing for my mother.
I don't have time for that right now.
It takes just as little as time as it does if it's not going to take any more time.
Oh, we have to go. We're supposed to be.
Stop. Stop. You don't need to look like a complete dick on camera.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
I don't think that those shoes are appropriate. What do you think, babe?
But there's boots.
They're boots. They don't
They look like
match.
the dress. No.
They're not cowboy
And it's
boots.
not cold out. Those are for when it's cold. Lose them.
I'll switch them out once the model's done.
Now.
No, Zoe.
It takes 2 seconds.
So now that's
Then
the
you got 2
cream.
seconds to do it now.
So then on the L'Oreal Nude palette, I'm going to go the little darker route right there. This is just gradiently going darker. And this is going to be right here. The window. And just kind of clean up as I go. I kind of do a circular motion first, and then I do what a lot of YouTubers call a windshield wiper method. Do about 2 coats, like paint, 2 coats, 2 passes. Now this is still matte colors and not anything big.
Finish your drink. Do something.
Next is gonna be this darker. So these are glittery colors. So I don't want to do glittery yet. Glittery is for your lid, and you're not really focusing on your lid. You're focusing on the shadow parts. So the next one here's another next matte color, some more a little bit brown. And after I get past this more neutral color that's lighter, I switch up brushes, because then you're starting to deal with more darker colors and hyperpigmented colors. This has a lot of fallout. This palette drives me nuts. It's a lot of way to get it on your eyelid. I have this kind of like puffier brush that kind of just tones down some of it and gets it off your face. And like a corrector. Other side. Circle, windshield wiper. Circle, windshield wiper. Big puffy brush. Next is my little blue. These are the Jessup brushes. So now I'm going to start going in the darker colors. So here's that darker brown right here. Just wiggle it in there. Tap off the excess. Circles. Circles. Windshield wiper. Circle. Windshield wiper. And you just want to kind of go halfway up your lid with these darker colors, because if you start going further in, you're gonna look like a raccoon. As you can see. Circle, windshield wiper. Circle, windshield wiper. Brush just to kind of make sure it stays out of that area. And I really don't if you notice, I don't go really further up the palette, because when I switch up to my Naked palette, and I love that same brown color that I use for my brows, I bring in. So tab off excess. Urban Decay is pretty good about not having such a product that has a lot of fallout, so I usually like their eyeshadows better. They're just a lot more expensive. I think this palette cost me like $55.
It looks so dark in the camera.
I know, but it's really not.
It's like really light. It's just dark in the camera.
Yeah, like I'll have to bring it further up one, but this is just really the techniques and the colors that I use. I don't know if you can see me now. And then just circle, windshield wiper, circles, windshield wipers.
So funny, I call them windshield wipers.
That's what the YouTubers call it.
You watch makeup videos?
Yes, I do watch makeup videos. Then I'm gonna take my fan brush. It's a little fluffier fan brush. And that neutral color that gets a lot of love, that's right here, the bottom palette, it just kind of come over here and really kind of blend it out. You don't want it to look like you can see the starts and stops so much. So that's it on the eyeshadow. Let me go kind of show you what it looks like.
That's natural.
So Zoe, I'm about to kick you out in a minute. So you will be cleaning this up with the concealer and the rest of it, but this is kind of what you're kind of going for your base on your eyes. The next thing that I usually do is the eyeliner, and I'm probably gonna have to buy another one because the color that I like to use is actually, if you can see, you can't even see the writing on it anymore, but it's called smoky. It's not black, it's smoky. So what I like to do with that, since I'm not really trying to get all glammed up, actually I don't think I have any more of this. So I might have to go darker. With that means that I gotta go. I don't know if I have unbrushed. Zoe, get out of here. Your face is not needed.
Just trying to help you out.
Right row. Throw this away for me. That's what you can do. Usually I have another pencil, which is right here, but I don't know if I have a sharpener.